when you look at that tower, it appears to be at least 4 stories high.
Yeah.
Right, so it goes up at least 4 stories from the actual, what is that, the 4th story of the house already at that point? One, two,
from the
three,
rooftop
4,
it goes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder it came down in the earthquake.
Mm-hmm. So interesting, really cool. So I'm really kind of excited by the fact that there you go, Google, and you discover things, right? The things we learn on Google.
The internet can be a wonderful thing if you use it properly.
It can be, if it's used properly, right? If you know what you're kind of doing, you just have to dig through everything. So that being said, I mean, you know, again, this show, I really just wanted to do this show because this place has always fascinated me. And I've not been in there to do a paranormal investigation. And I definitely think that might be something that, you know, as we were talking about that before, you know, doing some paranormal investigations in far-flung regions of, you know, when we get through this pandemic and figure out, you know, exactly what our new future moving forward will look like. It could be pretty fun. But at the same time, too, you know, in terms of actual ghost stories, you know, there seems to be a number of things. Now, I was looking to see if anybody had sort of felt that Sarah was at the house. I've not come across that. So that does not mean she's not there. That just perhaps means that it's one of those spirits that nobody has yet been able to connect with for one reason or another. And maybe if they haven't really identified her as such. But I would be up for definitely an adventure to the Winchester Mystery Mansion.
If she is there, perhaps it's her choice that she doesn't want to be contacted. But yeah.
Mhm. And that's very, you know, that's very common with spirits. They don't always interact with people. And, you know, so that's something that, you know, if a place is haunted, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get any kind of communication from a spirit ever. Right. So it is what it is. But that's definitely on a to-do list for the future. And like I said, folks, right now, just because, you know, we are in this pandemic and, you know, we sort of are all feeling a little stir crazy. And I know there's people going out and going on vacation and doing all these things. And, you know, great for you guys. For those of us who just, you know, really don't want to do that at this point in time, don't feel comfortable, check out the WinchesterMysteryHouse.com. You know, spend the $8.99 US if you're here in Canada. I mean, it's probably like $11. But to have that Matterport 3D walkthrough is so much fun. And if you've got kids, it's awesome. Like, you can sit there and get lost in it for hours. And it's, like I said, there's no time limit on your access to that. So you can go back as many times as you want. And the other thing is, too, I think that when you do spend that money, obviously you're helping the museum, which is, for me, a big thing because I work in museums all the time. You know, they need the funding. And right now with doors maybe not being as, you know, they can't have as many people through, etc., they struggle. So, you know, drop some coin. It's like going to a movie, only better. Lots of fun. And, you know, maybe one day we will get there, Ian. We'll do.
Oh, that would be amazing. As I say, it's on my list now of locations within the United States whenever I can get there. It's definitely on my list.
Now, next week we are, what's our date? The 2nd. So next week we're the 9th. Is that what we are? I'm just going to check the calendar. Give me a second. Where are we? There we are. So today is our Winchester. We have that one. I just want to check and see what my episodes are upcoming because I don't want to give wrong information. So, yeah. So let's see. So next week, we have not picked a topic yet. So the week after, we have our live psychic readings taking place. But next week, we don't have a topic. So, Ian, what would you like to choose?
Oh my goodness.
You can do that now.
Oh boy. Oh.
Like even if it's something you've done, like an investigation you've been like, we're totally open to like that. I mean, people want to hear about all kinds of different things, right? So, and I think they love to hear the ghost stuff.
Well, as you know, I'm very immersed in my paranormal investigations of Niagara on the Lake.
Okay.
Perhaps a general haunted history of Niagara on the Lake would be in order.
Sure. Okay, let's do that. I'm up for that. And do I get to debunk the ones that I know are not true?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
From my own personal experience and from my historical perspective.
I know exactly what location you're going at too, and who you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't take away from the location. I actually think that it makes it more interesting when you hear the real story. I think it does, right? Yeah. And I've got some further information for you on a few locations that, because you're not, you're not a medium, that I might be able to add to your stories with my experiences.
Sure.
So those could be fun too. I mean, I know Trudy does, she has some ability, but I've actually had people spirits step forward and speak to me in locations. So that might be kind of fun to add too, because as we all know, Niagara on the Lake for us here living in this part of Southern Ontario, it's a giant tourist destination, and tours are, if you've ever done tours for the most part as a tour guide and you live in and around this part of the region, you've probably done tours in Niagara on the Lake. We have our own tour company, so we've done our own tours in Niagara on the Lake. And, the tours that we did at the time, they were not haunted tours. We were doing actually Great Lake history tours. So it ties into the War of 1812 and different things. There was certainly some ghostly tales involved, but it wasn't strictly a haunted tour, right? But having done haunted tours in Niagara on the Lake too, there's tons of stories there. So it'll be a lot of fun to talk about, and that sounds good. So next week we will do that. We've got Niagara on the Lake, and we'll just do like the general ghost stories. Don't you like how we wing it on here, folks? We just like, what are we going to do next
for
week?
Sure, yeah.
But that's the thing, right? I think that, we plan out the shows as much as we can, but Ian's going to be joining us now as a co-host, so we're super excited about that. And
thank you very much for bringing me into the team.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, thank you today for, being able to step in on such short notice because Rachel wasn't feeling well.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
And it's
Rachel,
been great.
Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, me too. I hope she gets whatever it is sorted out so that she's not having all this pain in her hands. And, she's able to at least relax and enjoy things. It's difficult when you have that chronic pain. So we're sending you lots of positive energy, Rachel, so that you feel better. And, so super excited. So thank you for coming on board. Thank you for agreeing to, work with us here on Down the Rabbit Hole because, like I said, at the top of the show, it's always great that Rachel and I, we can gab for forever, but I love having that other perspective, another person, a different, you have your own team. You do things your way, I do things my way, Rachel does things her way, and we all bring something a little different to the show that way, right? And I think that's an interesting, it'll be a good thing. I'm looking forward to that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for agreeing to hang out with Rachel and I on Wednesday afternoons. And
no problem.
Yeah, so think of things that you want to talk about on the show so that we can plug them in because we've got lots of upcoming shows that now that we're doing this weekly. We only used to do this once a month. And since the pandemic, we've jumped into it weekly because we had the time, and we found that it's actually been really great doing weekly shows. It's more cohesive than just once a month, right? Because you can't get a lot in once a month. Yeah, so it'll be a ton of fun. So we are coming up on 5 minutes to 5 o'clock. So we've pretty much talked our way through 2 hours. I know I can do it.
We have.
And I hope that everyone listening has learned a little bit more about the Winchester Mystery House and all of its uniqueness and, sort of weird and strange and unusual, and whether you feel it's creepy or not. I think it's pretty phenomenal. It's check it out online. If you can't get there, like I said, support these locations that need your help, especially at this time, right? Everybody's struggling. So the museums and these historic homes and that usually are open to the public are really struggling right now. So more so than our big, sort of provincially or federally funded museums, these small individual private places are definitely struggling to keep going. So I'm all for supporting them. And so next week we do the Niagara on the Lake, general ghost stories. And there's some great little museums in Niagara on the Lake too. So, I might do a little plug for them. I've done some work with them as well, and they're, another great little spot to work with. So with that being said, Ian, I'm going to say thank you so much again. I'm going to run our end of show commercial breaks, and we're going to take off for the afternoon. So thank you again, everyone, for listening to Down the Rabbit Hole. And I'm Sika, and Ian, you want to say bye-bye?
Well, goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. So take care. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.